All right, folks, we're continuing our Revelations full review here. And just a reminder, we are giving these cards spice values, which is how excited I am to play the cards, not necessarily related to the power of the cards. And your spice rating is subjective, so maybe some of these cards are spicier for you than they are for me, or the other way around. And I think this is really going to showcase the difference between spice and power. Because a lot of these Genesis cards feel really powerful, but aren't too spicy for me. And we're going to just run right into things with Channeled Storm, which is an ability. It costs 6, but if you play 2 or more artifacts or abilities last turn, it cost 2 less. So you could play this for 4, and it does 12 damage to a character on the battlefield and 4 damage to each adjacent character. This might be the strongest removal that Genesis has seen ever, but it doesn't really change the way I play the game, is basically what I'm thinking here. I think it deserves a 3 spice because I am looking forward to putting it in my decks. But it's not a card that it's again like it's a potatoes card. It's not the card that brings the flavor to your deck. It's the card that makes your deck work. And there's quite a bit of that here for Genesis actually. So next we have Defy Surveillance, and this card I think is spicy and quite good, if I'm being honest. I know we said we wouldn't talk too much about the power cards, but it's hard not to with this one. I think this is a 4 spice for me. It's a preemptive cards with effects that mess with your opponent's game plan are always really good, and this one allows you to protect a specific character, and it's in 1 purity. This is going to let you play some greedier Genesis cards, or because it's single purity, queue it up with some other factions. And again, it lets you play greedier cards because this allows you to give your character untouchable as a surprise, because it's preemptive and it costs 2. It's protected from removal, but you can also play it for its recall cost for 4 from the graveyard. So this card is going to protect your core combo piece or your most interesting, biggest card 2 turns in a row, which is absolutely huge. And that's 2 turns in a row if you just cast it back to back. You can opt to use it as a bluff. If it's in your graveyard, your opponent might think twice about playing removal spells as long as it's in your graveyard. This one's great. 4 spice for me. Next, Omni-Eye. It's one that we've talked about before. I think Omni-Eye does a good job of supporting some existing strategies. And for that reason, I'm giving it 3 spice, because I think that it incrementally improves some existing strategies, might also open the window to play those existing strategies slightly different, but I'm not planning on like building a new deck around this. I don't think it fundamentally changes the game. So it's a medium for me. It's a 3 spice. All right. And next we have Rift Stabilizer. It's an artifact, and you can pay 3 and exhaust it for 2 turns. You remove a character you control. It permanently gets +6/+6, so you can do this multiple times and stack that buff up multiple times. And at the end of the turn, that character returns to play. And I think it'd be impossible not to reference DOG here, because I think that this card clearly caters to that strategy. But you can also do some cool things with like Sackless. This gives you the ability to play a Flamed On Genesis pair, which has always been a classic for the game, but you get to double dip on Sackless. Other similar deploy effects you can abuse with this card. You can use it to take your character out of the game to avoid something like a Yuan-Chi's Wrath or even a Calamity. Um, Card seems really interesting. I think, with the exception of the DOG deck, I don't know where its home is, but again, I'm excited to find out. So this one is a 4 spice for me. And our last card, Secure T 5000. And this guy's a 5 spice for me. I want to see what we can do with this guy. Because he's really weird. He says when he dies, he creates an exact copy of it in your hand. And he's also got 0 morale, which for me, I really like because it means you can really go all in on this guy without ever having to worry about morale. He's also such a really cool card to build around because one of the problems with having like a build around card, like let's give DOG as an example again. If your build around card gets sniped out and gets killed, it kind of sucks because it's like, well, now I don't have my plan B set up until I find my other DOG or get something else online. But what's really cool about Secure T5000 is his whole thing is that you can just pile all of the buffs on him, and if he dies, he's still got those buffs. So this guy's awesome. I really want to see. I want to give him a jetpack, and we'll see how it goes. So that wraps up our Genesis cards, and I'll see y'all in the next one.